Hello everyone, in this History Police video we're reviewing a short clip that is quite difficult to watch. It's on The Tudors, the TV show, and it's with Anne Boleyn and Lady Mary. First of all, let's not take side. I know you're going to try in the comments, but try to restrain yourself. They're both dead. They were obviously not friends. But let's discuss how this scene is portrayed. Let's see if it's historically accurate. And second, let's try to understand both sides. Can we do that? Can we try to understand both sides without taking any party? Please, try to do that with me, all right? So let's watch it.
Lady Mary. Lady Mary, I am here in kindness.
Okay, some context here. Anne Boleyn has given birth to a daughter, Elizabeth, and Mary has been ripped off. That was a little bit dramatic, thank you, my hair. Ripped off of her title, princess, and she's now Lady Mary. That is historically accurate. And Anne Boleyn made the request, which was seen as there's no other way, as a humiliation for Mary, that she had to attend her baby half-sister. But here, when Anne Boleyn became herself a mother, she realized how bad she had been towards Mary. And here, when she said, "I'm here in kindness," more or less in those words, it appears as well in the archives, in the primary sources. So I think it's well done here.
I would welcome you back to court and reconcile you with your father if you will only accept me as queen.
All right. So here she's saying, I'll be your ally. You'll be restored at court. I'll reconcile you with your father only if you recognize me as queen. Yes, it is historically accurate. Anne Boleyn asked that, promised that to Mary, and asked that from Mary. Also very interesting in that scene, you see Mary never looked at her until she finished her sentence. And obviously there's no way of knowing if that is historically accurate, that she would have ignored and looked at the wall behind Anne, or if she would have looked at her. But I think in terms of scene, it works so well. So now Anne's gonna get burned.
I recognize no queen but my mother.
And yes, it is also historically accurate. I recognize no queen but my mother. And here, I do want to clap for the bravery. But she also said something else that's also in the sources.
What if the king's mistress would intercede with the king on my behalf? Then I would be grateful.
If the king's mistress, so in the source she used the term concubine. If the king's concubine would more or less interfere on my behalf, I would be very grateful. Yes, that's more or less the line. Historically accurate. That scene definitely happened. Did that happen this way? Maybe not, but that's very, very close to history. Now, it is such a difficult scene to watch because please try not to take a side. But you feel for them both, don't you? I mean, lots of people said that Anne Boleyn wrecked the marriage of King Henry VIII. No, King Henry VIII wrecked his own marriage when he pursued a woman that was not his wife, and when he ruined every opportunity for her to marry with someone else. That's Henry VIII who did that. He ruined his marriage. He ruined Anne Boleyn's prospects, and Anne Boleyn refused to just be one woman after another, who just, a potential, mistress, mother of a bastard. That was not what Anne Boleyn wanted, all right? So here I feel, and here Anne Boleyn, in a way, tried. I mean, she had been quite awful, but I think that the motherhood, the maternity, she had been quite hard, obviously with Catherine, obviously with Mary. Obviously, these two women, Catherine and Anne, were in love with the same man, so you kind of expect it. But here she tried. I mean, kindness. I need you to recognize me as queen. Basically, she said, I need you to recognize my union, right? And Princess Mary's like, nope, not gonna happen. And I think in many ways it shows bravery from Mary, but it shows vulnerability from Anne, who's like saying, I kind of need you to recognize me as queen. I kind of need you to accept me as part of this family. I kind of want you to be part of our extended, complicated family. So I think it's just very interesting how here we have the portrayal of a very vulnerable Anne, because it takes courage as well to ask that from someone you have not been very nice to. And obviously Mary's response is so courageous, so bold, so Mary-like. I mean, when you know Mary, when you know what she's going to be as well, you see that strength in her, that I will not back down. You can do whatever you want. You can remove my title from me and make me attend this new baby, but I will not recognize you as queen. I will not play the role you want me to play. And in many ways, I just like that vulnerability and that strength, and both courage that comes from different places, portrayed in a show that is massively overall historically inaccurate. But they do some scenes that are so good, that are so historically accurate, that stem from primary sources. That one really stemmed from primary sources, and it is so good. And it's also very painful to watch because these two women probably hated each other. Anne probably hated Catherine and Mary. And even when she tried to reach out to Mary, and Mary basically, understandably, threw it back at her face, it must have been very, very hard as well for Anne Boleyn. Let me know in the comments what you think about that scene, what you think about their portrayal, and if you like as well want a historical TV show or movie, I actually follow from time to time, I would like more than from time to time, but that follow primary sources, archival research. I mean, isn't it nice? Because it's so beautifully done. And it's so nice for the audience and the viewers. Well, let me know what you think, but I think it's a great way to do historical fiction. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.